Yo, what's the deal? It's your player partner Bobby WAJ. Um, all praise be to the Most High God. I pray that whoever's viewing this broadcast, whether currently or at some time in the future, I pray that the Most High God rains blessings down upon you and your loved ones. Looking for some shit to put on you. I'm off that dream. You know, I'll be off my R&B heavy. But we're gonna get into some content. I'm gonna give, people a few minutes to jump in so we can have this discussion. The clock at 9 o'clock, watching Ocean's 11. And hear that boom coming from the every night around this way. We make love songs. Shut it up in my mix. Love song. 12-hour sections. Like confession, let me get that hate away. Hey, yeah, we're gonna get into this content. Just allowing a few people to come into the chat, come view this broadcast, and let's talk about something that's current and relevant news coming up out of Compton, California, man. I want to know y'all opinions. I want to know how y'all feel about this. It seems like every time we turn around, we have to address situations and topics that pertains to inner minority racism. Just vibing out, man, listening to this dream. Let me see. Check it out. I'm on it, you on it. Ooh, 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 ooh. All right, let's get into it. So we're going to get into this content. Then jump up on my plate. I got my fork in my butter knife. You. That's that old school. All right, man. I assume majority of people are either watching a game or in the house of religion and giving praise to their God. So without further ado, man, we're gonna jump into this content. A representative from Compton, Compton's chairman, something Guillory. The Hispanics in the community have come together and they're pushing for the resignation of the Compton chairman of public safety. During the height of the deportation situations, the ICE raids and all this and all that, I guess the brother had made a comment that was saying that he's going to start calling ICE on illegal immigrants. That's well within his right. He didn't violate anybody's constitutional rights by making that statement. He didn't humiliate anybody by making that statement. He didn't do anything that was with any form of malicious intent. It was no malice to what he said. If individuals are over here illegally, then like my partner from Baltimore say, if y'all out there in Los Angeles and Southern California and y'all going at it with the Hispanics and the Hispanics don't like you, why don't you call ICE on them? Why don't you deport them? And I feel like that was a relevant question. We didn't really expound and get in depth into that, but now we're going to. So, like I say, the Hispanics have come together in the city of Compton, and they're pushing for the resignation of Compton Chairman of Public Safety, Mr. Guillory. Mr. Guillory said he's not stepping down. He's not taking back anything that he said, and I stand with him. Mr. Guillory, stand on your square. Mr. Guillory, don't resign. Don't stand down. They in their feelings because they are associated or they are related to individuals who have come over here illegally. If you want to be over here, then take the necessary steps to come over here legally. Obtain your proper documentation. Come over here, or come over here. Stop playing games. Stop thinking you can be over here escaping the law and evading, law enforcement and all that for all your duration of time over here. And you need to get married or do whatever you have to do to become a legalized citizen. You cannot be over here illegally taking jobs from the youth. You cannot be over here illegally and having the stance of you dislike blacks. You cannot be over here illegally and contributing nothing of real substance and value. We got to think about how our communities have been affected since all these undocumented individuals have come over here. Now, housing is scarce. It's hard to get housing, especially through government housing, subsidized housing, and all this and all that. It's hard to obtain it. It's hard for kids coming out of. It's hard for kids coming out of junior high school, going into high school, and they're trying to become part of the labor force. Individuals are turning the other cheek and hiring individuals who are undocumented um people, undocumented. I don't want to say anything to offend anybody, but they are creating birth certificates. They are creating social security cards and doing all type of illegal things that ensure that their people can have employment. But where does that lead the kids coming out of junior high school, going into high school, that's trying to enter into the labor force? It leaves them in a effed up situation to where they start game banging and doing other things in order for them to earn an income. And it's not right. It's a lot of things that we can talk about that's a negative contribution to our communities with the influx of these illegal aliens coming over here. So me personally, I don't think Chairman Guillory said or did anything that was inappropriate or out of pocket. We're gonna get into the video, man, because it's always us who are willing to take on the fight of those who have subjugated us, who have suppressed and oppressed us. It's always us that want to go after another one of us to placate, to satisfy other individuals. So let's get into this video, man. I'm gonna have to show it to you like this because I'm not on my computer. Let's get into this video, man. Where is that? Middle history. This dude that I'm about to show is a coon. My question to the Latinos activists, community activists that's in Compton, why don't you create some type of forum? Why don't you create some type of program that can show the illegal immigrants how to secure their legal documentation so they can be here legally, so we don't have to worry about the ICE raids, to where we don't have to worry about individuals, whether they white, black, Hispanic, saying that I'm going to start calling immigration and start deporting people. Why don't you set up these organizations? Why don't you set up these forums? Why don't you set up these workshops to get these individuals and show them how to obtain their legal documentation? But you all ignore that they're illegal immigrants, and you help them break the law by securing fake documentation so that they can be on payroll. That's not right. It's not cool, and that has to stop. It's messing up the economy. You got to think about it like this, and it's a double-edged sword. But let me give it to you like this. Let me present it as such. Black people, us, this minority group, us, right? When our aspirations is to start a business, especially cooking, a cooking business. Let's talk about cooking. We go through the legal steps to get a food handler license, to get our employment identification number so that we can obtain a LLC, start an LLC. We go through everything that's required for us to start a business, and we pay taxes on that business. It's not right for blacks and other individuals who are going through these steps to do it the right way, when individuals can come over here without being legalized citizens, and they can set up on any corner in America and start selling food. They don't pay taxes on the food that they're selling, but we do. They don't get harassed by the police as much as we do. Now you're seeing the vendors get harassed by the police, but it's not really local law enforcement. It's mainly ICE. It's ICE agents that's coming and understand that a lot of these vendors that's selling food on the streets, is set up on the streets. It's ICE that's coming to check the documentation, check their paperwork, and a lot of them, as soon as they hear ICE is coming, they leave, and they leave everything behind. You understand what I'm saying? It's not fair to us tax paying American citizens. But let's get into this content. What's the brother name? Naji Ali? Oh, why? Naji Ali in the man face. Yeah, man. We gonna get into this, man. Naji Ali, you's a coon ass nigga. In this situation right here, you's a coon ass nigga. What you did is not cool. You know, why these Hispanics from out of Compton that's organizing to try to get this brother to resign or kicked up out of his position, why were they not as vocal when the female made those racial statements about black people in a private telephone conversation? Why don't the Latinos, the Hispanic, the Chicano, the Mexicanos, why don't they speak up when black people are at when black people are the subject of Latino, Chicano, Mexicano racism? Why didn't these residents of Compton, who just so happen to be Hispanic or Latino, why didn't they speak up when 20 to 30 Mexicans chased a black dude home, and then when they got him home, they tried to break into the house and they started calling him niggers and all this and all that? Why didn't they speak up then? I mean, if we're community activists, if we're advocating on the behalf of the people, because when I was a community activist in Empirical housing projects, a little guy by the name of Caesar, he had won a raffle. They had given him one of those hoverboards. Somebody in the community stole a hoverboard from him. I went and got the hoverboard, and I gave the individuals who knew of who the person was that took the hoverboard. I gave them strict warnings. Don't with Caesar. When you see Caesar, don't mess with him. If you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing to him. Don't be hanging around his house, because his mama had told me, and it was a Hispanic woman. Caesar was a young Hispanic man. But the same thing that I would have did for a black person, the same thing I would have did for an Asian person, Russian person, whoever, I did for that Hispanic family. But when our communities move into these predominantly Hispanic communities, when our people move into these predominantly Hispanic communities, we don't get the same civility. We don't get the same hospitality. And it's not right. I didn't have to go over and get Caesar his hoverboard back and tell the youngsters in the community, don't mess with him, leave him alone. I didn't have to give his mama my number and tell her if anybody comes around your apartment chilling or talking too loud, or if they continue to mess with Caesar and Caesar's siblings, you call me directly and I will be back over here and I'm going to handle it. I didn't have to do that. But we are so benevolent. We are so kind. We are so forgiving. We are so giving until it's time to give those same positive attributes to one another. But we're going to get into this content, man. Naji Ali, you's a sucker for this, bro.
Calling for the removal of Compton's chairman of public safety gets heated as that chairman shows up to defend himself. Good evening. This is the KTLA 5 News at 5:30. I'm Cher Calvin.
And I'm Micah Ullman. Protesters say Bishop L.J. Guillory has a long history of making inflammatory and racially insensitive remarks.
KTLA's Angelique Hockaday is live in Compton with more details. Angelique.
Pause. So is racially insensitive to say that I am going to start calling ICE and deporting people who don't legally supposed to be here. That's racially insensitive. So by him following the law and reporting for deportation of individuals who came here illegally, that's racially insensitive. They're breaking a law. So these community activists, these Chicano, Mexicano community activists that's advocating for these individuals to break the law, do you not understand that you're advocating for people to continue to come over here illegally, which is against the law? Let's get into the content.
Well, Sharon, Micah, they say these comments, insensitive comments towards the Latino community, have been going on for years, and they are demanding action from both the mayor and city council. But I also spoke with the bishop today, and he says they want him out because of his criminal history. Either way, things turned violent. A chaotic scene unfolded just steps away from Compton City Hall Friday morning during a press conference where community activists gathered to call for the removal of the city's chairman of public safety, Bishop L.J. Guillory. For 9 months, we have sought accountability. It started off peaceful. KTLA first interviewing Gilroy, who showed up to defend himself.
I will not step down with it.
That's
I will
right.
not bow or cave.
Before hearing from Latino community members who say Gilroy's anti-Latino comments during a tough year of immigration crackdowns and ICE raids make him unfit to serve both the Black and brown communities that make up
I
Compton.
disagree.
You don't say those horrible things about the Mexicans and the Latino and the immigrants.
The tone took a 180 when Compton resident and longtime activist Naji Ali, who called the news conference, referenced Gilroy's past criminal history.
At the end of the day, no one cares about his criminal record.
But they said that you pushed the issue and expressed certain concerns about his criminal record. The Hispanics ain't even politicking on his criminal record. It's always a coon ass nigga that's gonna do some coon ass shit against his own people when these Hispanics come up against blacks. These niggas is silent. When Hispanics come up against blacks and victimize single mothers, when they victimize babies, these niggas don't take no actions. These niggas is silent. These niggas ain't boots on the ground. They ain't willing to get cracking. They ain't willing to, even just hold some form of a summit to discuss inter-minority tension, disagreements, and conflict. These niggas don't do too much of nothing. This dude is a poverty pimp. He exploits situations to his benefit, long as it can be publicized and he can get his face out there. This dude is a coon. Let's get into the content, man.
Exactly. No one cares about his criminal record.
That's when you can see Gilroy moving toward Ali. The fight escalated. You can see Gilroy reach for Ali's face in a heated exchange lasting just seconds before police intervened. President Abril Villanueva telling KTLA-5, despite today's fight, she wants the focus to remain on Gilroy's comments, not his past.
I believe in second chances. However, when he's threatening us that he's going to call immigration czar just because we're Latino, that's an issue.
Now, Ali told me once things calmed down here that Gilroy actually poked him in the eye, and he does plan to press charges. Meanwhile, I did reach out to City Council here for a statement on today's fight. So far, I have not heard back, though. For now, they're reporting live here in Compton. Angelique Kakade, I'll send it back to you in Hollywood.
Angelique, thank you.
There it is there. Naji Ali, this is coming from Bobby Yeye Jones. F-U-C-K-U, bucko. You're counterproductive. Your stance and your fictitiousness is counter-revolutionary, and you do a major disservice to the Black community. You're not a voice for us. You don't speak for us. And I would greatly appreciate it if you pipe down. For you to go public and publicize your disagreement with another brother as another ethnic group is going after him, for you to partnership with them. In today's climate, with everything that's going on, bro, that's treasonous. You could have had a private conversation with that brother, and they say you the one that called the press conference. It's always a nigga that they're going to use to go after another nigga. And today, my friend, you have proven that. But what I want to see you do is be more boots on the ground. I want to see you more involved with these Chicanos, Latinos, Mexicanos come up against blacks. See, the Hispanic population has grown so exponentially that now they feel that they can be arrogant. They feel like they can be condescending. They feel like they can really put on display their superiority complex that they have over blacks. And it's always a nigga like you that's gonna co-sign they bullshit that makes them further feel fortified in their stance of going after blacks or feeling like they're superior to blacks. It's always a nigga like you. Me personally, I don't see no harm in what city councilmen, chairmen, Public safety Guillory said, I don't see no harm in what he said. I'm not gonna go as far as calling ICE and deporting individuals. It was just a situation the other day. One of my player partners, he get hit by illegal immigrant. When he get hit, I think I told y'all this. The little boy was crying and he was hysterical and he's shaking and all this and all that. And I told my player partner, no, man, see if y'all can work something out, man, because it wouldn't be cool to calling people on them. And we all know how them people have treated us since we've been here in America. You feel what I'm saying? Let's not do to them what the Caucasians have did to us and some of them have did to us. We can't even chill in the communities that we were born and raised in without them calling the police on us and the police coming saying, oh, it's disturbing the peace and all this and all that. But I talk my kin folks out of calling the police on those illegal individuals. You see how compassionate and empathetic we are? If we was in that situation, do you think they would have gave us the same courtesy? Do you think they would have been as civil to us as we were to them? No, they would not have been. So I'm not gonna go as far as calling ICE and immigration on anybody, but I'm not going to dissuade anybody from doing it any further. If you feel like you need to call ICE immigration on individuals who are here illegally, do your thing. Bobby Ye would not interfere. Bobby Ye would not try to dissuade you not to do it. If you know where some immigrants at, if you know where some illegals is at, then do your thing. And that's just plain and simple because some of us have grown exhausted with dealing with this reoccurring, continual topic of inner minority racism. We tired of this shit. Out here in Vegas, it's not as bad as Los Angeles, but you can still sense the racial tension. They still look at you a certain type of way. You go into their business establishment and they treat you as if you're a leper. Tonight, I'm gonna put together this video. I was at one of the local shopping strips, and I'm driving my car. So I'm driving my car. There's a Hispanic couple that's walking to their car, and they looking all in my car. So when they see that I'm a darker complected individual, they kind of like say something, snicker to themselves. They jump into their automobile. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for them to come out so that I can take that parking spot so I don't have to continue to drive around the parking lot looking for parking. Man, when I tell you those folks stayed there for every bit of 20 minutes. And the reason why I stayed there is to show and prove to people that Hispanics find indirect ways to try to trigger you, incite you, and provoke you. Soon as I went and I found another parking spot, I started recording. I say, watch this. I guarantee you, this car right here, the car that I was recording earlier that these people's got into, soon as they see me, or as soon as I walk past, they're going to pull out and show us shit thing. As soon as they seen that I had got another parking spot and they didn't potentially, in their perception, inconvenience me, that's when they pulled out. Those is the games they play. There's a slew of other games that they play when it comes to engaging and interacting with blacks. I want to say this. Not all Hispanic does this, but the mass majority do. The mass majority has a superiority complex and they dislike blacks. And they have proven it to us time after time again. But you have individuals like Whack 100, Blueface, Rich Trapper, Munchie B, and a slew of others that go on their platforms, that entertain them, that creates these fictitious relationships for the sake of obtaining monetary gain. So now they're whacking Blueface, then went and, coddled Ryan Garcia. Maybe the boxing commission to say, well, maybe the black population has forgiven him. So therefore, we'll be more inclined, we'll be more willing to hear they please to allow him to come back and box. Strong possibility. Even though his belts wasn't taken solely because of his racial remarks, but he was taking performance enhancing substances and whatnot. But Whack 100 and Blueface going on there coddling him, this may be something that somebody may use to try to get him back into situations that pertain and relate to black folks. At some point in time, we got to stop being job ass, coon ass motherfuckers and stand on black business. Not Paru business, not Crip business, not Bay Area business, not GD Vice Lord business, but standing on black business, baby. That's all I'm saying. They showing us time after time they don't like you. And the only way that they like you is if you're co-signing their racism, co-signing their BS, co-signing their superiority complex. If you're not singing their praises and you're a free thinking individual, then they're not going to too much rock with you. You have to sing their praises. You have to bow down in order for the Hispanic community to accept you and feel like you're decent enough for them to give you a pat on the head. I don't want any pat on the heads. I don't want any pats on the backs. What I want for my people is what is rightfully due unto us. That's it. That's all. What I want for my people is to be a self-sufficient, independent people. What I want for my people is us to separate from those who are toxic and cancerous and let them wither away while we begin to isolate ourselves, purchase our own land, start our own, cultivating our own produce, you know what I mean? Start our own farms, eating cleaner, properly educating our kids. You know, that's what I want for my people, man. I'm here on YouTube to reunify our people and resurrect our communities. And that's it. That's all. I'm gonna get off this thing, man. Hopefully, I said something that was profound enough for it to resonate with you. It is your player partner, Bobby WAJ. God bless y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in with your player partner. I'm gonna read some comments. Let's get into the comments. Forgive me. Oh, we got a decent amount of comments, man. I appreciate the love, man, for reals. So we're gonna do 15 comments. Straight from the gate says, Bobby Ye stumping for Trump. I'm stumping for my people. That's what I'm stumping for. Trump is a part of the same system that has oppressed and suppressed my people for over hundreds of years. Trump is a part of the same system that has assassinated, got rid of our profound thinkers, our innovators, our freedom fighters. Trump is a part of that same system. But if I had to pick between Trump and the Democrats, I'll pick Trump. I'd rather be beefing with a wolf, because with a wolf, you already know what it is. This wolf don't like me, I don't like this wolf, and when we see each other, it's going to go down. Versus a fox. A fox is more cunning. A fox is more covert in its approach. A fox is more covert in its attacks. You got to always keep your eye on a fox, because a fox is sneaky and sly and is waiting on you to get caught with your pants down so that it can attack you. A wolf don't care. Listen, homie, a wolf is like this. I'm coming at you. Those three little pigs that you protecting, we coming for them and we coming for you. We don't care about none of that. We coming, and when we catch you, if you with them, this is what it's gonna be. Straight up. That's what it is with a wolf. You know what the deal is with a wolf. It's like a person that steal and a person that take. A fox is a thief, is a stealer. We don't like them, but a taker we respect. We respect the audacity of a person to take this mines versus a person that let you turn your back and then they like, no, I respect the wolf more than I respect the fox. So when you're dealing with the Republicans, you already know what it is. When you're dealing with the Democrats, you really don't know what it is, because they smile in your face and stab you in your back, and that's never been cool with me. So do I support Trump? I support the black community. I am stumping for the black community, and whoever can get us realigned with our original mission, focus, and purpose is, that's what I'm stumping for. But I appreciate you for tapping in. Bobby, yeah, you getting them straight from the gate. Democrats going to be mad at you, man. The Democrats. I don't rock with the Democrats. The Democratic political party is the same people who burned down Tulsa, Oklahoma. The Democratic political party is the same people that has went above and beyond to make sure that we can advance as a people. The Democratic political party has been more detrimental to us than any other political group, any other form of ideologies and all this and all that. The Democrats, I do not rock with the Democrats. Bando for life, Project Life. What's the dinner there? Peace and blessings to you and yours, man. He say, "What's good, fool? Chilling, dog. Just chilling." Inglewood Legend said they need to kick them all out and lock the border down so they can't come back. Straight from the gate says, "Oh, why Naji Ali in the man face?" Yeah, Naji Ali, he goes into the man face. The man get a little, you know what I mean? Like, but you instigated that. Indigenous by blood says facts. Indigenous by blood says never. R.I. Rand says you shouldn't have went against your own for Caesar. That's heavy. My cousin Denali says, let's talk about these groans, grown Spanish women trying to retire from these fast food jobs while our kids can't even get it. That's what I was saying, Edie. But when I said it's offensive, because I come on here and I tell the truth as I perceive it, experience it, and live it. These babies can't even get a job because they want to retire from Pizza Hut. They want to retire from Domino's Pizza, McDonald's, Burger King's. Like, no, come on, man. Those was entry-level jobs to incorporate, or excuse me, or to acclimate children, orientate children into the labor force. Now these kids don't got these opportunities, and you wondering why so many young ladies want to sell their vajayjay because their friends is doing it. And they seeing how their friend is coming up off selling her vajayjay. She don't have a strong male role model in her life. Mama may be on hard times. She want to wear Balenciagas, Chanel, and all this and all that. And she look at it as a get rich quick scheme. She's gonna go out there and sell her behind to get some money. When these young sisters and these young brothers used to be able to go get a job from Taco Bell, Pizza Hut, this, that, and third. And that's why I say, homie, we got to get over this gang banging BS because it kills black businesses. These babies should be able to go to a black moms and pop store and seek employment, get job, get employment there and all this and all that. But that's a whole nother topic. Straight from the gate says, what did he say? And was it true? The truth hurts, but it sets him free. He said that he's gonna start deporting him. He's gonna start calling immigration. He's gonna start calling ICE on him. Richie Rich says Kevin De Leon, LA City Council didn't resign. That's true. So Guillory shouldn't resign either. Guillory bet not resign. Indigenous by Blood says they can keep us out of Congress and brag about it because we black and it's all good. And they can vote against our reparation. Not only did they vote against the reparation, they hated on the reparation. They said black people shouldn't be entitled to get reparation until Mexicans get reparation and Indians get reparation. Let's keep it going. Indigenous by Blood says Mexicans arrogant and disrespectful. Indigenous by Blood says ain't no black and brown. It damn sure ain't. Ain't no black and brown. And I mean that figuratively, and I mean that actually. This is brown. So ain't no black and brown. Show me the brown people. The brown people who reside in Mexico, they just now allowed them to be counted as Mexican citizens in Guerrero, in Oaxaca, in the southern part of Mexico, the ones that look similar to me. They weren't even considered, they weren't even categorized and classified as being Mexican. The Mexican government has started rounding them up and deporting them to Haiti. They get to Haiti. They say, hey, man, I don't speak French. I speak Spanish. I speak the other Latin language. I was born here. There. And they start like, man, why the Mexicans are sending all these black Mexicans over here? And they have to send them back. They racist against the people who look like us down here in Mexico. But just proving my point, there is no brown. They're not brown. At one point in time, they was brown, but through genetic, I think it's isolation or genetic annihilation, their pigmentation began to get lighter and lighter and lighter the more that they bred with the Europeans that come from Spain. All right, Inglewood Legend says, I always seen dude as a fraud. He's most definitely a fraud. Straight from the gate says, Naji just got out of jail for threatening somebody. Indigenous by Blood says, good, I'm glad we got some black people that's not looking at these Latinos through rose-colored glasses. King of Kings 1055 says, always fire. 100, thank you. Indigenous by Blood says, exactly. Indigenous by Blood says, more of us should take that stance. I will. Inglewood Legend says, I got ice on speed dial. F them. Indigenous by Blood says, we will do it to us. Indigenous by Blood says, I'm not with that higher ground BS. Beatology says, only folks having sex are cheap labor or votes or church members care about them. They hate us. Yeah, they do hate us. They got a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against California warehouses for racial discrimination from the Hispanics. Down in Texas, the Hispanics, I believe it was in Texas, down in Texas, they came together and they conspired against black people, made fraudulent claims about them, made a whole lot of hoopla about nothing to get them out of leadership positions so that they can ascend and fill those leadership positions and start pulling their people in. There's been a practice that they've been practicing on us while we've been sitting there singing, Come by your my Lord, come by your. They've been playing everything to benefit them. They have been racial against us. They have been racist against us. They have been prejudiced against us. They have been biased against us. And we're thinking that we can just hold hands and get along. Like, no, you're the people who are coming to replace you, the people who are hoping to annihilate you, it's right there. And you don't see it. Wake up. Indigenous by Blood says, while we are behind. Straight from the Gate says, what y'all having for dinner? Beatology says, normalize calling ICE. Straight from the Gate says, Beatology, trophy. Beatology said, if they could get rid of us all, they would, most definitely. Beatology say, they push in Blake all day. Terrence Mack says, damn, this channel popped up out of nowhere, but the brother is right. Naji is like Jesse Jackson. Brother, I don't know you, but I love you. You get it. You know what's going on. Just like Jesse Jackson. Oh, please, God, continue to bless me and continue to allow me to attract these type of individuals to my page. Hallelujah, brother. I thank God for y'all, man. Reading y'all comments and having this engagement with y'all is like a breath of fresh air because y'all get it. Other people are blinded by the cripping and blood and all this dumb shit. That's dumb shit. Our survival is on the line. Our livelihood is on the line. And you niggas is pushing lines behind red rag, blue rag, gray rag, yellow rag. Come on, my niggas. We gotta wake up. But shout out to Terrence Mack, man. Shout out to everybody in the comments. It's just this brother is new to the page, man. And I thank you for being here, family. Indigenous by Blood says passive aggressive. Terrence says he's. Indigenous by Blood says too many. Indigenous by Blood says beatology exactly. Terrence says Naji is involved in the Torrance restaurant fight, but he's out there like he's going to fight the security guards. Indigenous by Blood says, don't you like them? I think he means don't you like them? Beatology says he's a Democrat still. Or Iran says picking Trump is idiotic. Okay. I pick my folks. Whoever can assist us in reshaping, regrouping, rebuilding, and reconstructing our communities, that's who I'm picking. Long as it's not no malicious intent behind them supporting us. But I'm picking us. I'm going with my people, numero uno. Like everybody else, I'm going with my people for the win, big dog. So I don't want to get into Americans' politics because American politics have never moved us forward as a collective ever. So, you know what I mean? If that's what you think, that's what you feel, I don't want to debate it with you. Beatology says, no, we pick who supports us. There we go. Terrence Mack says, Kamala pushed the homosexual crap on these weak Black Americans. Beatologists say they all wolves. not them Democrats. Beatology says, I support FBAs. Terrence Mack says, these elections show people for who they really are. People still not friends. Yo, this day, till this day, is what the brother mean. Beatology says, preach, they bring no value. Terrence Mack says, the RuPaul came out these N-words over Kamala Harris not being president. Patrice Darren, damn, what's the deal? Peace and blessings to you, Queen. Thank you tremendously for you sharing my content. I appreciate you. I love you, love the kids, love your family, and I pray that the Most High God is blessing y'all. Check It Out TV says, salute, tapping in. I appreciate you, Kim, folks. Terrence Mack says 44 million blacks in the USA, 70 million documented, 20 million undocumented blacks better wake up. Check It Out TV says, Bobby, we are here. Check It Out TV says, like you said, we here. Terrence Mack says, blacks studying the Bible in Africa when the pyramids in Louisiana are 8,000 years older than Kenner. I believe he meant Kemet. I got to research that. I know they got pyramids that they call mounds over in Missouri that's supposed to predate the pyramids over in Sudan. You know, the ones in Sudan is older than the ones in Egypt, but I'm gonna look into that. Beatology says the Bible is fiction. It's a good book of philosophy, depending on how you interpret it. You know what I mean? It's a good philosophical book that can be utilized as a compass that can send you on your way of self-exploration, especially in the spiritual realm of things. But that's neither here nor there. Straight from the Gate says they have already got rid of us. Where are our people in the workplace? School board is ran by them. The city of LA shall I go in. I'm gonna tell you like this: gentrification, the astronomical cost of living, and Hispanics have turned a lot of African Americans into desert dwellers. What do you mean by that, Bobby A? What I mean by that is these communities, especially the coastal communities in the cities that's 10 minutes, 5 minutes away from the coastal cities and whatnot. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Gardena, LA, Long Beach, Compton, Hawthorne. You know, come on, y'all know what I'm talking about. We ain't got to name them all. But these cities that we used to occupy, some of the communities in those cities, we were the predominant minority group or ethnic group. A lot of people have left those cities and went to the desert. Apple Valley, that's the desert. Hesperia, that's the desert. Lancaster, Palmdale, that's the desert. Victorville, Adelanto, Las Vegas, that's the desert. The high cost of living, the astronomical cost of living, the Hispanics, and gentrification has turned a lot of us into desert dwellers, and that's the truth. They have already, all right, anonymous, anonymous sovereign. Anonymous sovereign says, Bobby, can I get your opinion on what that African said, how blacks don't have no culture? We have culture, Queen or brother. We have culture. When you come to America and some of its finest cuisines outside of Mexican food, you can thank us. When you listen to the music of America, you can thank us. When you study America Civil War, when you study America's World War, when you study the what is it called? The Revolution War, the Revolutionary War. That's all black culture. That's all black history. The music, the fashion. Okay, watch this. What's white people fashion? I'll wait. What's black people fashion? What's white people music that they created independent of black people? I'll wait. Blues, that's us. Country, that's us. Even down there in the Delta where they played the banjo, that's us. What's what like what's the national food of the Caucasians in America? What's their national food? I'll wait. Exactly. So when you talk about America history and America culture, that's black history and that's black culture. Everything that's trending, everything that's popular, everything that's hip, everything that's hot in America originates from us. Even going back to individuals like Alexander Graham Bell and Thomas Edison, and how they stole patents, how they stole invention from black folks, being that black people was looked at as being subhumans, less than human. It wasn't nothing to take an invention or take or steal land or steal the intellectual properties of a black person and then pass it off as being yours. American history, American culture is black history, is black culture. So, let's just remember that. Let's not allow them to trick us out of our position, our identity, and our purpose. Never again. But thank you for asking that question. Hopefully I answered it for you. Trump so far is telling a real man's truth, no matter if he's orange, no matter if he's an orange man. I can dig that. Bird says Brighton went to a black church and told them that they better get used to the Mexicans because they would soon be in population before he turned them loose into our community. I think he meant Biden. Let me see. BTology says Democrats allowed them to reinvade for votes and to get rid of us. Most definitely. They opened up the borders and they let a lot, not sleeper cells, but they let a lot of sleepwalkers come over here. So stay vigilant, keep your eyes open because we may be soon experiencing some form of a T. You get what I'm saying? From when you call 911, take that, and that. We may be facing another similar situation sometime in the near future because they let all these sleepwalkers come over here that can go to any city and get things cracking and whatnot. You know what I mean? But they opened the borders, and the reason why they opened the borders is a nefarious reason for doing that. And we're going to be the ones who pay the piper. Okay, Terrence Mack says Chukuyo, Illinois. Yeah, that may be where it's at. Either Illinois or Missouri, but Illinois and Missouri is like right there by each other. Beatology said religion is fiction and used to control. I agree. That's why I'm not religious. Bird says the first man that was unalive when America was funded was dark complected. We build culture. They culture is scratching white folks' butt. Damn, that's heavy. Some people culture is still in our culture. You know what I mean? Like they're passing it off as being their culture. We seen that with rock and roll. We seen that with country music. You know what I mean? But let's get back into the content. 50,000 inventions and patents, Black history. Terrence Mack says everything in the world comes from blacks in America. I can't agree with that. I won't say blacks in America, but I will say that everything in the world is somehow, some way a derivative of melanated carbonated people, whether it's us here in America or whether it's our ancestors, ascendants going all the way back to Africa. Everybody can trace their genealogy. Everybody can trace their bloodline back to Africa. The Homo sapien departed, migrated out of Africa 70,000 years ago. They went to Asia. They went to Australia. In Australia, they mutated because I don't want to say mutated, but they maintained their certain genetic code. They maintained their certain genetics when the world was interbreeding and having sex with different people from over here, over there, and all that. When everybody started to migrate and they begin to mutate and transforms, colors got lighter, heads got bigger, noses got, what I mean, all this and all that, what I mean. But the people down there in Australia, they didn't interbreed with anybody. They just stayed right there, and that's why they still look like what their ancestors look like. But they migrated out of Africa as well. When you go to Indonesia, when you go anywhere, the original people to go there first was actually people who were melanated, carbonated people. But that's a whole nother topic. We get into that later. They talking about how the Asians came over here over in the Barren Strat 30,000 years ago, but 50 to 60,000 years ago, there was already a wave of black people that had came over here and connected with the people that was over here because it was that's a whole nother story. Forgive me. Terrence Mack says everything in the world comes from the blacks in America. We created everything. The Africans should be studying us, not the other way around. That's heavy. Origin 510 say I give zero. It's about Africa. Oh, man, y'all, them are people though. Let's not allow the other folks to get us to turn our backs on our folks. Let's try to find ways to bring us together. Because that's that Crippin' blood shit right there. When we start talking like that, we need them and they need us. To say that I give zero it's about Africa, that's saying that I care not about General Traore and the individuals that's over there that's kicking French square dead, France square dead in the motherfucking ass. You know what I'm talking about? That's possibly about to collapse the French economy by standing up and saying, "No, homie, if anything, this is what we pushing. And if there's anybody around the world that want to get on with this, then come and get on with this." So I can't come on here and say F Africa. I just can't do it. We need them and they need us. But shout out to you, my player partner from the Bay, man. Much love and respect. Origin 510, much love. Abdullah Isa says, "What up, Bobby A in chat, man? Everything is cool. I'm about to get back on the Clizzock, man. I appreciate y'all tapping in with your Kim folks. God bless you. I love y'all, man. Y'all step and be blessed, man. One love. Gone. Too black, too strong. We all we need. We all we got."